Hi, I'm Father Jim Martin. I'm culture editor of America Magazine. And this week in our current comment, one of the topics we're talking about is President Obama's reaction to the Gulf oil crisis, or rather the oil crisis in the Gulf. And not his reaction in terms of what he's doing in terms of practical matters, but his emotional reaction. He's been criticized in the media for being not as emotional as he should be, for not showing as much passion as some people think that he should be. But I think this is kind of unfair. One of the themes of the book, The Game, that came out that talked about the last presidential election was this idea of Obama as so-called no-drama Obama, the person whose preternatural calm helped him to weather all sorts of personal and political and professional crises. So I would say that's just not who he is. And it's a very strange thing, I think, when the media tries to analyze, what's the expression on his face when he did his talk from the Oval Office. Was he passionate enough? Did he use his hands too much? When he goes down to the Gulf and he's looking at those tar balls, what's the expression on his face? Is he fed up, frustrated, or furious? People want to see furious. Ironically, throughout our history, there have been presidents who have been emotive and not so emotive. President Ronald Reagan, on the 40th anniversary of D-Day, famously praised the boys of Pointe du Hoc, the wonderful soldiers who stormed the beaches at Normandy. And it was this very emotional speech, and he even got a little teary-eyed. And of course, people liked the idea from Reagan, who hadn't, after all, seen action in any war, that he was sort of expressing the emotions of the American people. So he got high marks for that, and I think rightfully so. It was a very effective speech. By the same token, we've had presidents like Dwight Eisenhower, who was famously calm. There's a wonderful story about him receiving an honorary degree at Penn State University in State College, Pennsylvania, when his brother Milton was president of Penn State, that is. And it was a pretty nasty weather on the day that he was going to get his honorary degree, and Milton was fretting a bit. And he turned to Ike and talked about how horrible the weather was, and Eisenhower said, "Milton, I haven't worried about the weather since June 6, 1944. So there's a person who seemed to know to keep his emotions in check. On the other hand, George Washington, when he bade farewell to his soldiers at Fraunces Tavern in New York City, famously wept the great farewell at the end of the Revolutionary War, or rather in 1783. By the same token, you had someone like Edmund Muskie. Edmund Muskie, for those with long memories, had his presidential ambitions foiled when he cried. Famous picture of him crying in the snow. I think someone had made a comment about his wife at the time that got him upset, and so that kind of emotion was seen as inappropriate for a president. So I think what happens is we elect presidents with different kinds of emotional states. Some are very emotive, some are very passionate. Someone like Bill Clinton, of course, was very passionate. So I think this emphasis that the media has on kind of picking apart his performance, as if he were Al Pacino or Robert De Niro, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think when it comes right down to it, the American public would certainly prefer action in the Gulf over acting. For America Magazine, in all things, this is Father Jim Martin, culture editor. Thanks very much.